Example, the communication among the people of your family, friends, and relatives of the same group. If you communicate within the group, within the family, that is extra personal communication. So, intrapersonal communication. Really sorry, intrapersonal. So, intrapersonal, it means, suppose if you have a group, example, we say family. So, family is a group. So, if you talk to your sister, brother, daughter, wife, or something like that, means among the members of the family, if you communicate, that type of communication is intrapersonal. So, means among the group, means in between the member of two, member of a family, member of a group, if you give some message, that is intrapersonal, means in between or among the members, that is intrapersonal. Example, if you talk to your daughter, and if she gives a reply, and the communication in between this type of activity, it is known as intrapersonal communication. The first one, it is extra personal, that is related to means uh, other than that of the human beings, means individuals. And second one, it is intrapersonal. Intrapersonal means communication among the members, friends, relatives, family members, like that. Then third one, it is interpersonal communication. Interpersonal means communication which is specially from one person to another person. It may not be a group, it may be a group. It means that when we give some message, or when we pass some message from one person to another person, it is interpersonal communication. So interpersonal means one person who is passing, transmitting a message to another one. So this type of communication is interpersonal communication. Example, we say that sale of a car. When we sell a car, when the seller who wants to sell a car, so the person who is coming in front of you, and the seller who is the representative of the seller who is coming to you, and he is giving the details of the car, and the quality of car, then type, model, then the mileage, then durability, etc. Means everything, the features of the particular car which is described in front of you, that is interpersonal. So interpersonal means person to person. When a person who passes a message to another person, that is interpersonal communication. Example that I told you, sale of a car, that is an interpersonal communication. And meeting, generally in most of the companies, corporates, then universities and colleges, even schools, morning meetings which is conducted there. In our university, we have morning meeting of the faculty members, and the officers or the authorities who is responsible to conduct the meeting, that person who is giving the messages to the followers, means the subordinates, means the other people who are attending the meeting, means the generally faculty members. So we are getting the information from the boss and the management. So it's a general tendency in every day we have morning meeting, and this morning meeting is generally conducted by a representative of the authority or the management. So it is also an interpersonal communication. Or a sales meeting, or that I told you. Or we say that a client meeting, or employees performance. Generally, time to time, means after 1 year, completing of 1 year, every faculty member, or every member who is working in a company, who is going to get the hike of salary. And this hike of salary is not given annually without any measurement. The measurement which is generally conducted, it is performance index. So performance index, performance appraisal, And this performance appraisal, which is taken time to time, I mean every 1 year, every 6 months. So this performance index is taken. So perfect performance index, which is taken on the basis of the work which is done by the particular persons. And we say that in a company, after every year, so hike of salary is given. So it is on the basis of the performance of the worker. So workers are entitled to get this type of hike of salary. So this hike of salary, which is on the basis of the performance index. So this performance index is also an interpersonal communication. So communication in between or among the members or from person to person, that is what we say interpersonal communication. Example, in these days, during the pandemic situation, so it is very difficult to conduct interviews. So interview is also an interpersonal communication, you know. Okay, so generally this type of interview which is conducted online, here also you can see that we have online classes. Why it is online classes? Because it is pandemic period and it is very difficult to see each one of you, and it is very difficult for me to see you, and you can't see me. You can see only by this camera, through this camera. So why it is so? Because of this particular situation. So in this particular situation also we are able to meet, it is through online mode. So this online mode is also an interpersonal communication. So you are in some other places, you are at your home or some other places, and I am at my home or in at my workplace. So we are in different places, and these, even if this particular situation which is going on there, so what is going on? Online communication is there, online teaching methods are there, so online sale is there. So everything is possible by the way of online. Even I think just today I have read one a news on online sale. So near about 40% of the sale which is increased after the pandemic, and it is only through online methods. So even in the hotels, so they are packing the food and other materials, they are we can give the order by online. So online is also an interpersonal communication. So once again, the communication means communication, it can be in different modes. So it can be broadly classified into three types, that is intrapersonal communication. So intrapersonal communication, I told you, it is other than that of the communication among the individuals. So if we communicate with uh, other species, example birds, then animals of uh, domesticated nature. So these type of breeding animals or domesticated animals, uh, we can have communication, and if they respond, that is possible in every now and then. If you domesticate any animal or bird, so sometimes they respond to your call. So it is extra personal communication, that is by its name it is extra. Then now next one, I told you intrapersonal. Intrapersonal means the communication among the family. So among the family members means friends, relatives, that means they are in the same group, not a outsider. Then last one that I told you, it is a general tendency, general communication mode, that we conduct any communication, we transmit or when we pass any message from one person to another person. That is known as interpersonal communication. That I told you. Example we can take, online communication is there, sale of product is there, then a company's meeting is there, organizational meeting that I told you, then seminar, then workshops. So all these are interpersonal communication. So okay, next I think you have followed me. Then next topic is here it is organizational communication. So organizational communication, it is it is the communication, it is the way of communication generally refers to the business environmental communication. Generally, when we conduct a business, when we do business, we have organizational communication, which is a need of organizational communication. So when an organization is working over there, when an organization is going on there, it is pulling its business forward. So it has to make the relationship with the members. That means the people working in the organization, maybe employees, staff members, or other persons, and the people who are outside of the organization. It is also a way of organizational communication. Example, we see that insurance companies, sometimes the business organizations, they have to contact with insurance companies, banking companies, and other companies of having uh, the relationship in between our business. So it is organizational communication. So this organizational communication, it is I told you, it is within the organization and outside the organization. So when we follow certain rules and regulations and a particular channel or way of follow transmitting the message from one organization to another organization, one organization to its members, means one organizer or the boss who is transmitting any message, passing the message to his workers or the staff members, it is also an organizational communication. So this organizational communication, it can be divided into formal and informal. So formal communication, by its name, the communication means which is following certain rules and regulations, which has a particular standardized channel, and this type of a channelized communication, or we say a formal way of transmission, that is known as formal communication. So formal communication, it means the communication means where the communicator, the messenger who is giving any message by following certain rules and regulations, when he select a particular channel of distributing or for this transmitting this message, it is known as what we say formal communication. Example that I told you in the earlier discussion, we interaction we came across meeting, a meeting which is conducted anywhere in a company, in an organization, in any work site in the sense factory. So these are all formal communication. So the messenger who is using a particular channel, he is not transmitting any message of his personal thinking, personal matter. He is giving the message only on the basis of official matters. So he is transmitting the message which is absolutely related to the business. That is known as formal communication. So informal communication, so this formal communication, it has some strength. What we say, can you give one example of one way of strength of this formal communication? I would like to ask the question to the students, means my viewers, uh, anybody who is able to give what is the strength or the positivity of this formal communication. Anybody please. Hello. Hello. Anybody can respond. What is the strength of this formal communication? When we conduct formal communication, when we transmit formal communication, what is the positivity, what is the strength of this formal communication? Please, anybody please. Any student? Okay, I will give the clarity, the strength of this formal communication. It has the way of clarity. It is very clear because we use certain techniques, certain channel, and it clarifies the communication means. There is no confusion or commotion in the case of formal communication. When the messenger, example, we say a boss who is giving a message to his subordinates, it will be absolutely clear. Or any subordinate who is raising a question, if he is asking a doubt, so it is absolutely clear. That is, there is no vague message is there. The message is so strong. It is very clear. It has no vague message. So when the message which passes from one person to another person, when he uses a particular channel, it means it has clarity. A proof is there, an evidence is there, something which is, even if not recorded, if the boss who is writing a letter writing is a formal communication. Just you see, when the messenger who is giving a message, it will be absolutely clear. When the boss who gives a message, when he passes a message, it will be absolutely clear to his followers, means his subordinates. That is the strength of this type of message. And here also we can say that it has some uh, weakness also. So when we think about the weakness of this message, just you see, we could not be able to start our meeting, means class. It may be due to some technical interruptions. So generally it's a tendency when we pass a message from one person to another person, sometimes due to some technical error or technical mistakes, it may be a general tendency that we can get some interruptions. It is not just like that of the informal communication. Informal communication, it is not decided, it is spontaneous. And spontaneously, if we are not able to get a particular word, you can use another word. Another word means we can shift this particular topic to some other topic, other ways. But it is not possible in case of formal communication. In formal communication, we only use the formal means, formal words, formal messages which is passed there. It is so official. That is the weakness. So here we see a formal communication which has some weakness. It is one among the weakness, which is interruption. There is a chance of interruption, and we cannot use any words of personality, means personal affairs. Personal affairs can't be used in formal communication. So it's a general weakness or general tendency that we cannot use any words which of having informal activities. Now we are coming back to informal communication. Informal communication that I told you, it is generally we never use any formal channel. It will be according to the messenger who is selecting any channel. Any channel means even if without any channel, when a social activity, social personal messages, or even in the organization, when we pass any message in an informal activity, means it is absolutely a social or a personal messages in the organization or outside the organization. When we pass a message without any particular rules and regulation, that is informal messages. So even in the organization, it is also possible. Here also we can see that some informal messages are there, and it is not official. It has no official standards, no rules and regulations. What we say that Employees are passing a message from one employee to another employee without using any particular channel. It has no standard and it has no recognition from the organization. That is the true, the exact no standard as well as the recognition from the management. Example, suppose among the faculty members, if any message, if any rumor which is passed, example, suppose we say that one of the persons who got a PhD degree, actually has not submitted his PhD. In spite of not getting all these things, somebody has given the name of a person who has been awarded PhD. So it is an informal message. It has no official backing and it has no official standard, and the organization is not permitting this type of messages. So that is informal message or informal communication. So informal communication, it has a great problem. There may be a chance of arising rumors, scandals, and we can deviate this type of message from one person to another person without any backing. Here the rumors are aroused there and the scandals are also there, and the people, they are generally spreading this type of message without any particular standard or without any back. Therefore we say that this type of messages, this type of rumors, informal messages or informal communication is not acceptable, because organization has no particular backing, particular what we say, particular standard. So it has no recognition from the management. There is a chance of rumors, and some messages are not to the reality. It is absolutely unreal messages. So that I told you, messages are formal or informal. Formal message means, formal communication means the communication or the message which is transmitted from one person to another person, which is using a particular standard, which has some proper channels, it has some backing, it has some rules and regulations to transmit the message. Example, I told you, formal message. The first one, it is a conference, seminars, meeting, this type of online classes. It is also a way of formal communication. That means I am not going to describe any personal matters. I am not inclined to give any personal affairs, my domestic activities, about my daughter's wife, friends. So it is absolutely an official communication. It is absolutely an official means of transmission. So we say that formal communication, it has some standards, it has some roots, it has some rules and regulations, and proper backing and support from the organization. Unlike this informal communication, it has no backing, it has no rules and regulations, no proper channel. It is spreading from one person to another person without any channel. And when we transmit this type of informal messages, there may be a chance of arising scandals, rumors, and other things which are not favorable, which are not a positive point, positive things for the organization. Then one of the most important example of informal communication, it is the first one, it is grapevine communication. So what is grapevine? Just you remember, what is the shape of grapevine? It has no particular direction. It is, it can be in any form. It can be in the form of a grape wine. If you have seen grape wine, grape wine, it has no particular direction. It can be either uh, upwards, downwards, or sidewards, or anywhere. It has no direction. So grape wine communication, it has no particular rules and regulations. When we transmit the message, it is moving from any direction. Grape wine communication is the communication means it has no direction, no particular direction. Direction is there. It may be sidewards, upwards, or downwards, or anywhere. So it has direction, but it has no particular direction. We can't say that it will transmit from left to right or right to left. No, it has no particular direction. It can be moved from one side to another side, and it is coming backward also. So grape wine, just you remember the shape of grape wine. Grape wine, it has no direction. It can be in left, right, upward, or downward. So here, this grape wine communication, I will take some kinds of grape wine communication. The first one, it is single strand. Single strand means the source is a particular person. Suppose A. A is transmitting the message to B. B is in my right side. And B to C. C to D. And like that. Means it will travel from a source to another person and passing it to another person's like a strand, like a line. That is single strand communication. And another type, it is the source is person A, and who is transmitting this message to B. Then D is this side, E is this side, and in my back side, F. So the source is from KV Kuriakose, and this person who is transmitting the message to Professor Avik Chakravarti, Dr. Snehlata Dhaka, and Professor Umesh Gurnani, and many other persons. But source is KV Kuriakose. This is a gossip chain. This type of message is gossip chain. So gossip, it has no base. So someone has created this message. Anybody can create this message. And when this person, the gossip person is myself, and I am transmitting this message to the people they are surrounding me. That is gossip chain. Source is same. Then another one, it is chain of probability. Chain of probability means, suppose myself is giving, the message is from me, I am giving this message to some other person, and he is giving this message to many persons, to D, D to E, E to F, but it is not in a particular direction. And even if source is from me, I have no dependence when it is passed from me. So when I pass this message, and the people who is receiving this message, they are spreading. Just like a chain. That is chain of probability. The last one, it is cluster communication. It is also, what we say, cluster communication is also grapevine communication. Suppose a cluster of people, cluster of stars, like that, human beings or people, those people, they are around me. I pass this message. That is one cluster is there. And another person who is having certain people around him, he passes some message. That is another cluster. So there are many clusters. Example, just like that of a honey bee, hive. A single queen is there, and that queen who is having number of workers. That is one beehive. Another beehive, it means the source, it is from the particular queen, She is spreading this message. So likewise, a cluster communication is a communication by which different clusters or different groups, they are transmitting this message. So that is the last type of communication, that is grapevine communication. Then just we see the last portion. It is just let me see. Yes, okay. It is on the basis of direction. Communication can be three types. That we say in another name, we can say it is levels of communication. Levels, you know, example, water level, 10 feet, 15 feet, 20 feet. And the same, just you, if you take the example, when we pass the transmit or what we say, pipeline, same level. So here, levels of communication, it means that what is the area or what is the level way of transmitting the message. What is the way to transmit the message from one person to another person? That is level, the way, how it goes, whether it is upward or downward, or it is horizontal, like that. So the levels of communication, it can be three types. It is three types. The first one, it is downward communication. Downward communication means the communication which starts from the top level authority, and that top level authority who transmit this message, where he passes the message to his subordinates. Example, we say, when a boss who conducts a meeting, he has number of things to say in front of the audience, in front of his subordinates, right? Okay. Now, when the message which passes from the boss to his subordinates, then subordinates to workers, that is downward communication. The source is from the top level, means managing director, then general manager to departmental managers to overseers or site engineers to workers. So there is a hierarchy of message which transmits from the top level to the bottom level. Means the source of message is the higher authority. Example, the director of a company who passes a message to his manager to his subordinates. Or we say that when we can take some example, one example, in our university, Honorable Chancellor Sir, who gives a message to the Vice Chancellor Sir, Vice Chancellor to Dean Sir, Dean Sir to concerned faculty members, and faculty members to the students. That is downward communication. The second type, it is upward communication. Upward communication, it is just opposite of downward communication, you know. Suppose a project engineer, a project manager who prepares a particular report on a particular work which is finished or unfinished work, he submits a report to his immediate boss. It is upward communication. You got the point? Upward communication means when the subordinate or the lower hierarchy of the people who transmit a message or messages to their higher authorities, mean the source is from the bottom level, and this bottom level source or the message which transmits from person to person in the upward level is what we say upward communication. So upward communication source is from the lower level and lower level to higher level. Example that I told you, a junior engineer or a works manager who prepares a particular report and he transmits or submits this message to his immediate boss. That is what we say upward communication. So once again, we are coming back. Downward communication that I told you, the source is from the top level to bottom level. That hierarchy is followed there. And after scheduling a particular meeting, the director or the manager who is conducting a meeting, even if it is online, the messages which is passed from whatever the messages he wants to give from the top level to lower level is downward communication. And the subordinates or the people of the lower hierarchy who pass any message to the upper level of persons or the higher level, that is upward communication. And the last one, it is horizontal communication. Horizontal communication means the communication among the people of having the same level. Example, if we pass any message of our peers, of the contemporary people who are working with us, that is horizontal communication. Horizontal that I told you, if we give a pipeline which is connected to many pipes of the same level, the water level or the quantity of water will be flown from the particular pipeline. It will be equal to each and every house. That is, household gets the same quantity of water if the size of the pipe will be same. That means if it is half-inch pipe or 1-inch pipe, the matter will be different. Otherwise, it will be the quantity of water will be same. And now you see example, one more example. When a big company which is having number of departments, example purchase department, sales department, then accounts department, personal department, marketing, and many other. So it's a general tendency when this marketing manager who transmits a message to purchase manager to sales manager to accounts manager, that is horizontal communication. When any one of these persons, if they get any message from anywhere, if they transmit this message to different persons of the same level, same hierarchy, that is known as horizontal communication. Example that I told you, pipeline. Or we say different departmental managers, if they transmit any message from one person to another departmental manager, that is horizontal communication. That is absolutely horizontal. You know, you must be knowing that you are engineering students. Horizontal line, it will be not cutting anywhere. So it will be parallel. So this parallel communication is possible when we have the same hierarchy or same level. That is horizontal communication. So horizontal communication, it is the last type of the level of communication. Once again, we are coming the level of communication. Level of communication, it can be in 3 forms. One, it is downward communication that I have given many examples. I think that you have followed me. Then horizontal from top to bottom. Then downward communication from top to bottom. Then upward communication is bottom to top. Means a subordinate who is passing a message, submitting a memorandum. Example, employees submitting it is also an upward communication. If they have some grievances, if they have some problems, and it can be solved there, and if they tell this particular problem to their management, it is through the bilateral discussions it can be solved. So here it is upward communication is there, and the last one it is horizontal communication. Horizontal communication that I told you, it is on the same level, same hierarchy. Example, purchase manager to sales manager. If he communicates with the purchase manager to a communication in between purchase manager and sales manager, they are having the same level. Example, one more example, HODs, departmental heads of various departments. In a university, we have different departments. Example, electrical department, then mechanical, humanities and applied sciences. So these different department heads, if they pass any message, if they have a particular group, and if they pass a message, because they are on the same in the same level, if they work in the same hierarchy, if they pass a message, that is horizontal communication. So horizontal communication is sense when a message is passed from one person to another person of the same level. That is known as horizontal communication. So this is the last one. Again, once again, I am summing up the points which I have already taught you. The first one, it is we are coming back. It is different types of communication. The first one, it is extra-personal communication. Extra-personal communication means communication in between animals and human beings, birds and human beings, other than that of individuals. Then intrapersonal communication. Intrapersonal communication means when we communicate among the family members, among the group, friends and relatives, that is intrapersonal communication. Then interpersonal communication between or among different groups, not of the same level, same group, that is outside of the group, that is interpersonal communication. Communication other than that of our family members. And if you conduct a meeting, if you conduct a seminar, if you have any conferences or online interview, online communication of any nature, all are interpersonal communication. Then just we see formal and informal communication. Formal communication that I told you, I am going to sum up it. Formal communication which uses certain rules and regulations. It has some standardized methods. It uses certain channels of distribution, channels of communication. Unlike this formal communication, informal communication has no particular rules and regulations, no particular channel. It has no standard. It has no particular direction. That is informal. Here also we can use some paralinguistic languages also that we will see in the following classes. Now, most important example way of informal communication is grapevine communication. Grapevine communication means communication which has no particular direction. It has no particular rules and regulations. It is generally informal. Not generally, it is informal, because it has no standard. It has no backing. It has no support from the organization. It has no validity, right? Then it has many types that I have already discussed there. The last one, it is levels of communication. Levels of communication, it is top to bottom, that is downward communication. The hierarchy is from top to bottom. Then downward communication is bottom to top. Example, when a subordinate who gives any message to his higher authority, when he submits a memorandum, or what we say, any message who is passing from the lower to higher, that is downward communication. And the last point is, that is horizontal communication. Horizontal communication, I told you, the communication among the people or in between two persons of the same level. Example, the head of the Department of Humanities and Applied Sciences talks to the HOD of electrical engineering or mechanical engineering. When he passes a message to other person, that is horizontal communication, because they are working in the same level. So there is no difference of their authorities. Their authority is same. Their power is same. When they transmit any message, that is horizontal communication. That is same level of communication which is passed from one person to another person. That is what we say horizontal communication. Okay, if anybody wants to raise any question, you can have now. Hello. Anybody wants to raise any question, any student, if he or she wants to ask any question, it can be clarified. It is your right. Okay, some of the students, they have told it is in the chat box. No sir, no question. Okay, thank you. And Professor Meena, I mean Neha Meena ma'am, who is going to take the next hours. Thank you to all. Hello.
Hello. Good morning, sir.
Hello. Good morning.
Hello.
Neha ma'am.
Okay, sir, I'll take over.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. So it's 12 o'clock, I guess noon has started. Good afternoon, everyone. And as promised, today we are going to take up the exercise for SVOCA, the 5 elements that we discussed in our previous class. So if you want me to go through all the patterns again, all the 7 patterns again, I'll just quickly revise with you, and then we'll move on to our exercise. So each one of you were present in my last class. Okay. Soma has said that you weren't there. Okay, Soma. Anybody else who wasn't there in my last class? Okay, so let's just quickly revise what we studied about sentence patterns. So basic sentence patterns are 7 in number. Okay, first thing to note down is that the 7 basic sentence patterns are there. Okay, firstly, this is the point. The second point is that what elements does it include? Each and every sentence will always have these 5 elements. Okay, whatever the kind of sentence is there, it will only have these 5 sentences. Either it's a compound sentence, it's a complex sentence, or it's a complex compound. It doesn't matter. There will be only 5 elements present in a sentence. So first element will be subject, second is verb, third is object, then complement, complement, complement. Okay, fourth one is complement, then fifth one is adverbial. Okay, so note it down. Soma, you have noted down here? So let me quickly share the screen with you. We'll begin with our exercise. If meanwhile, when I'm presenting, and if you have any kind of query, meanwhile, you can turn on your microphones and you can tell me, okay? No need to mention it in the chat box, okay? And I want the class to be very interactive, so please, each and everyone, please listen carefully and answer when you are asked something, okay? Okay, so I'm presenting the window. Just wait a second. Okay, so everyone is able to see my screen now? Yes? You can answer me by turning on your microphones. If the screen is visible, I'm going to start.
यस मैम, थोड़ा जूम कीजिए, एक्चुअली थोड़ा जूम.
Now is it fine?
हाँ हाँ हाँ, यस, ठीक है.
Okay, okay. So as I was telling you कि हम लोग 5 sentence के जो elements हैं उनके बारे में बात करेंगे. In our previous class also we talked about these 5 elements and I verbally revised what we did in our last class. Okay, so let's again go through these 5 elements. So I told you in the previous class that a subject can be a noun, pronoun. Gerund I have not mentioned here, but because we haven't talked about gerund, we'll take another class for gerund, a specific class for gerund. I haven't mentioned it here so that you don't get confused. Some of you might be familiar with the term gerund, some of you might not be. So therefore, we'll take another class for it. So, but gerund can also be a subject. Okay. So noun and pronoun will be your subjects. In a sentence where you find nouns and pronouns, there will be your subjects. Okay. Nothing else will take place of verb. जब हम वर्ब की बात करते हैं तो सिर्फ वर्ब जो वर्ड्स हैं, जो वर्ड्स वर्ब हैं ऑलरेडी अपने नेचर से जो वर्ब हैं, दे विल बी ओनली acting as verb. Okay, then again nouns and pronouns can act as objects. Okay, again here gerunds can also act as objects. Okay, but there are minimal chances, there are much more chances of gerunds being subject. Okay, then complement is, this complement is different from the complement I've mentioned in this thing in my previous class also, that it is PLE, and the complement, the praiseworthy phrases or words that we talk about, those complements are something different, and this is the element of the sentence. Okay, and if we talk about the sequence that I've mentioned here, it's the fourth element, complement. Okay, then complements can be adjectives. Nouns can also be complements, but at specific places, and those are very complex situations. So we are not taking up these exceptions because हम लोगों को जब इस चीज के बारे में डीपली जब पढ़ना पड़ेगा, जब हमारी एक्चुअली जो क्लासेस हैं, जो सिलेबस के अकॉर्डिंग हम जब मूव ऑन करेंगे, देन वील डिस्कस अबाउट इट. ओके, दिस इज ओनली टू build up your base so that we can move on to our syllabus. Okay, so here complement is adjectives can take place as complements in your sentences. Then adverbials will be adverbs only. Now adverbs can be of many kinds. Generally there are four kinds of adverbials: manner, reason, and degree, frequency. So place, these are the type of adverbials, and we have talked about each and every element: nouns, pronouns, prepositions, verbs, adverbs. We have talked about these in our previous classes, so I think we can move on. Okay, this is just to make you understand that these words, these kind of words can act as subject, verb, object, complement, and adverbial in the sentence, so that you can recognize while we do the exercise. Okay, so the first basic sentence pattern that we noted down was subject, verb. Everyone has noted down all the 7 patterns. I guess there is no one left. Soma, please note down in this class. I've mentioned all the 7 patterns here. Okay, if you haven't, you can note down and listen carefully, note down each and everything so that it's clear to you. The base of these sentences are here. With this particular class, we'll be ending about sentences. We'll be moving on to advanced level of understanding the sentences. Okay, this is till now, till this class, what we have been discussing is what you have read in your school till now. Okay, what is the basic grammar that you need to come up with in order to carry on with your first semester syllabus. Okay, so this is your last class about the sentences, about the basics of the sentences, and we are talking about basic sentence patterns here. Basic sentence patterns are 7 in number. The first one is subject, verb. Okay, although there is no specific order that we can mention it, but usually we mention subject and verb, this first pattern, this particular pattern, as the first one. Okay, so when we talk about the first pattern, you see in the first sentence that I've mentioned here, birds fly. What is the first sentence? Birds fly. So birds here is, what is bird? Can anyone tell me? Is it a noun? Is it a pronoun? Is it an adjective, verb? What is it?
Verb.
Sorry?
Verb.
It's a noun here. Bird,
Okay.
a noun. Okay. And fly. Fly is verb. Okay. So subject and verb. This is how you understand the pattern. So when we segregate the elements, when we are given an exercise of segregating the elements, like the one we are going to do at the end of this class. So when you segregate these elements, what you do, you put a symbol, this block symbol, and at the bottom what you'll do, you'll mention that this is subject and then this is verb. I'm just telling you so that this is a exercise that you need to do in order to understand the patterns. Okay, this is the only way that how you can recognize. Okay, now again in the next sentence, everything fits. What is everything here? What is everything? Is it a noun, pronoun, fit? What is it? Everything. Everything fits. If you have paid attention in my last class, you can easily answer here. I've told you that whenever we are going to talk about these basic sentence patterns, always what will happen is that it will be in this particular order only. The first word will always be your subject, but we are only talking about the basic sentences. I'm repeating, we are only talking about the basic sentences. We are not talking about the complex sentences. Okay. So birds fly, everything fits. These both sentences have a pattern of subject and verb. SV. Everything here is your subject and fits here is your verb. Okay. Then moving on to the next pattern, SVO, subject, verb, object. So I like coffee. So I here is, you can easily answer this one. Anyone who knows the answer can unmute themselves and answer.
Noun.
What is it? It's a,
Subject.
yes, it's a subject, but is it a noun or a pronoun? It's
Noun.
a pronoun, yes. And then like is verb. Coffee is object. Why is coffee object? Because it's again a noun. Okay. Then the next sentence, she went to Jaipur. So she here is again your subject because she is pronoun. Then went is, what is went here? It's a verb. Okay. Then Jaipur here is, what is Jaipur?
Noun.
Jaipur is a noun again. Very good. So SVO. Now I have told you about the indirect and direct object in my previous class. Anybody who was present in the previous class, can you answer my question? In the first sentence, which one is the indirect object? Because I asked you to note down each and everything carefully. If you have noted down, if you have your notebooks with you, and if you have noted down in my previous class, you can answer this question easily. Which one is the indirect object? There are two objects in the first sentence. In both of these sentences, there are two objects, but here we are talking about the first sentence. So, which one is the indirect object in first sentence? He gave her a bouquet. Her is a object, a bouquet is a object. So which one is the indirect object? Can anyone answer? He gave her a bouquet. So nobody is answering. He gave her a bouquet. He here is subject. Okay. Gave is verb. Her is object. A bouquet is object. And her is your, what is her here? Her here is indirect object. I've told you that usually inanimate things will be direct object. Okay? So are you noting down, everyone? If you are noting down, please note down this particular sentence and write her equals to indirect object and a bouquet equals to direct object. Because a bouquet is inanimate, it's not a living thing. Therefore, we say that it's a direct object. Okay? She likes coffee, not tea. So what is it here? Here both the animate. So which one will be the direct object? I haven't explained this particular aspect of the sentence, but can anyone make a guess? She likes coffee, not tea. Please unmute yourselves and answer. See, if the class is not interactive, then it will be really hard to carry on.
Coffee is the direct object and tea is the indirect object.
Tea is the indirect object. Very good. Coffee is the direct object because we are focusing on what she likes. Okay. Now SVC, subject verb complement. So in this kind of pattern, SVC, in this particular pattern, you'll always have a subject complement. Okay, because there's only subject present, there's no object present in this particular pattern. Therefore, the complement will always and always be subject complement. Okay. Now, the easiest way to recognize or to understand if the word is a complement or not, you just use this formula that is the subject directly equal to this the word, the adjective given. Okay. For example, he is smart. So he equals to smart. So this makes smart as a subject complement. Okay, because there's no other thing. Smart is directly referring to he. Okay, because he is smart, so he equals to smart. This is your formula. This is going to be your way to recognize how a particular word is a subject complement or not. Okay, he is a farmer. Again, when we talk about object complements, same thing can be done. You have to see if you are confused that if the word you are sure, because it's an adjective, so you are sure that it is a complement. This particular word is acting as a complement in this particular sentence. But how to recognize if it's an object complement or a subject complement? So what for that, what we are going to do, we are going to understand it. If the particular thing, the particular adjective is equal to subject or it is equal to object, then it is the complement of subject or object, whatever the case is. Okay. So here in this particular pattern, SVC, he is smart. The first sentence, he equals to smart. This is how we can understand that by smart, we are referring to this pronoun he here. Okay. We are referring to this particular person. Okay. Then again, when we talk about the second sentence, again, it's he is a farmer. He is a president. So again, you can easily recognize it by if the particular adjective is equals to the subject or not. You can understand it in this particular manner only. Okay. I've mentioned the symbols of how you are going to note down. And as I've told you, you'll put a symbol between all the words to segregate between the elements. For example, here it is, he is subject, is your verb, smart is your complement. So SVC. This is how you are going to answer. Okay. Is there any problem? You are able to see my screen? Is there any problem? Okay,
no,
so I'm moving on to the next pattern. Subject, verb, object, complement. Okay, so how you are going to note down object complement? C and O. There's no other way to write in word. Or if there is, I don't know. So I have mentioned it like that, but it will be much smaller and it will be mentioned here at the bottom. Okay, this O will be mentioned at the bottom of C. So CO, like you write in your formulas or anything, when you use a certain kind of jargon, then you use a C and whatever your complement is. So here also you are using CO to symbolize object complement. Okay. So the first sentence of SVOC. SVOC. Okay. What's the pattern? SVOC. So the first sentence, they elected him president. Now we have talked about this particular sentence, he is a farmer. So here a farmer, because this pronoun is a farmer. Okay, so he equals to a farmer. This is how we have understood it. But about which particular element are we talking here? When we talk about this complement here, is it object complement or a subject complement? What is it? They elected him president. They elected him president. So, who are we talking about when we say equals to president? So, what will be the first element? Is it object or is it subject? Please answer. I don't think so. It's very difficult to understand. I have simplified the exercise and the definitions as far as possible. But please participate so that you can understand. It will be helpful for you only. Am I not audible? Hello?
Ma'am, repeat the question once again.
I'm asking that as we have discussed in the above pattern, subject verb complement, where we have talked about subject complement, in this particular sentence, see, I'm pointing the cursor here. In this second sentence, we have talked about that he is a farmer. Again, in the first sentence also, we have discussed that he is smart. So, he equals to smart. This is how we understand that smart is a subject complement. Okay, because it is referring to the subject. Okay, equals to means it is, I'm just mentioning this particular symbol or the word here because so that you can understand how you can recognize a complement if it's a subject complement or an object complement. So here in this particular pattern, subject, verb, object and complement, SVOC. If we talk about this particular pattern, there can be both kind of complements. It can be object complement also and subject complement also. Now my question is that in this particular sentence, in the first sentence, this word president is a complement. Okay, that is understood. But is it a subject complement or is it a object complement?
Subject complement.
How? If A equals to president, are we talking about the pronoun when we are referring to the word president here in this sentence? So you are not understanding what I'm saying. I'm saying that if you have to recognize a complement in a sentence, then the easiest way to understand, to recognize it, to specify it, to point it out is that you can easily put a equal to mark. Okay, let's say him equals to president and they equals to president. So which one seems correct? When we talk about this particular sentence, which one seems correct? Are we talking about them when we are saying president, or we are talking about this particular pronoun him when we are talking about
him? Him equal to president.
Yes. So this is what I'm telling you, that it's really easy to comprehend. Just be attentive. That's all I need from you. Only your attention is needed in the class. Okay. Be participative so that you have the confidence to answer. And if you have any kind of queries, just point it out at the point. Okay. There's no need to wait for the end of the class. If you have any kind of queries, you can ask me. Okay, so in the second sentence here, I like my coffee hot. So this hot is the adjective. It is referring to, firstly tell me what are the elements. Tell me the pattern here. What is subject, what is verb, what is object, what is complement? Quickly tell me the pattern of this particular sentence. As I've told you, for segregating, you can use the symbol. Segregate the sentence with the help of the symbol and mention what is the subject. Yes.
Subject is I. Subject is I. Verb
Yes.
is like.
Yes.
Object is coffee and complement is hot.
And what's my here?
My. Sorry, ma'am, I cannot answer.
What's your name, dear?
Ma'am, Adhit Roy.
Okay. Anybody else? Anybody else? Soma, Divya? Anybody can answer my question. Aniket? I don't think so that it's really that difficult to understand. If you want, I'll just go through each and everything quickly again. But please answer if you are getting my point or not. And for you, my dear Arhit, it's my coffee it's completely an object. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
It's completely an object. So I is subject, like is verb, my coffee is object, and hot here is complement, and it's an object complement. Okay. Now moving on to the next pattern, SVA, subject verb adverbial. She left yesterday. So yesterday here is adverbial because it is answering the question when. Okay. There are a few more tricks as we have taken up the equal to trick to understand complement. Similarly, we'll note down a few tricks to understand adverbials and objects. Okay. Subject and verbs can be recognized easily when we talk about basic sentence patterns because they both come initially. They occur initially in the sentence. So it is easier to recognize both these elements. But when it comes to object, adverbial and complement, it's a little bit difficult. So we'll note down a few tricks once we are done with all the patterns. Okay. So she left yesterday. Yesterday here is pointing out to the question when. Okay. When, how, where. So adverbials answer to these questions. When, how, where. Okay. And why also. Okay. I'll mention for object, I'll mention here. Note down. If you are noting down, it's really something very helpful for you to understand. So object replies to the question who, whom and what. Okay. If you are confused and you are not able to understand if it's an object or it's a complement or it's an adverbial, then it will be easier for you to ask these particular questions from this to understand the sentences. Okay. So have you noted down? I am not getting any replies from you people. If you have noted down each and everything, really it's good, but you have to answer. Okay, so subject, verb, adverbial. We have done the first sentence. She left yesterday, because we are talking about this particular question. When? So it's yesterday, and this is your adverbial. Yesterday is adverbial. Of course, she is subject, left is verb. I will go there. Now, in this sentence, what are the elements? Tell me the pattern. Segregate the elements. I is your subject, will go there. What are these words? Which one is the verb? Which one is the adverbial?
I is the subject,
Yes.
go is the verb, and there is the adverbial.
And will is also verb.
Will comes to tense. Will go. It's under the verb.
It is, but it is a verb, right?
Yes,
Because it's an auxiliary, it is a verb.
yes, ma'am.
Yes. So therefore, like we have discussed about this particular sentence, I like my coffee hot. So this is the segregation here, correct? This is how I've made you note down that my coffee is completely an object. Okay. It's not that my something else and coffee is an object. No, my coffee. Because we are talking about the person who is saying this sentence is saying that he likes his coffee hot. So his coffee means that his particular coffee that he consumes. He's not talking about all the coffees. Okay. So therefore, this is completely one object. Then when we talk about this particular sentence in SVA pattern, the second sentence, here also auxiliary will and go both will be verb. Okay, they'll be mentioned as verb. So subject, verb and adverbial. There, where, it's answering to the question where. Have you noted down these questions? When, how, where, why. Adverbial will answer to these questions. Then SVOA. SVOA. She went to Jaipur yesterday. So here it is. Which one is the subject? Which one is verb? What object here in this sentence? Which one is adverbial here? I will go to Delhi on Monday. Please answer for both these questions, both these sentences. Segregate these on the basis of this particular pattern, SVOA. Segregate the words. What is she here?
She is the subject.
Yes.
Went is the verb.
Yes.
Jaipur is the object, and adverbial is yesterday.
Adverbial is yesterday. Very good. It's similar in the next sentence also.
Yes, ma'am. I is the subject.
Yes.
Will go is the verb.
Yes.
Delhi is the object.
Yes.
And Monday is the adverbial.
Yes. So here we are going to segregate it. This is how we are going to segregate the sentence. Okay. Now don't get confused if you see any prepositions, articles. Okay. in whatever the words are there, only the major classes. Okay, I'm not talking about leaving the pronouns from your close classes. All the words will be falling in with the other major words. Okay, if there's a open class word there, if the open class word is present in a sentence, then the close class words will follow its category. Okay, for example, here on is what? What's on here? It's following Monday. Monday is acting as an adverbial on Monday, because on is used here. It's Monday. Otherwise, what is Monday? If we talk generally about Monday, what is Monday? It's a day of the week. It's a noun, right? But when we talk about it in this particular sentence, it's our adverbial. How is it acting? It's acting as an adverbial. It's functioning as an adverbial. So I will go. Will go is your verb. Then to Delhi is your object. Okay. Then on Monday is adverbial. Okay. Now this is the worksheet. Please answer the questions. Take screenshots, whatever you like. Just segregate the sentences on the basis of the elements. Okay. These sentences are only of basic sentence pattern, the 7 patterns that we have discussed till now. So subject, verb, object, adverbial, and complement. Segregate these sentences on the basis of these 5 elements and tell me what pattern are these sentences following. Is it SV? Is it SVC? Is it SVO? Is it SVOO? Is it SVA? Is it SVOA? What is the sentence pattern here? Is there anybody else present? Only Arhit has been replying till now.
Ma'am, SVOA.
Which one? The first one?
That is a subject and drives is a verb
Yes.
and
Us
us to school is a object and every morning is a adverb.
is object. Okay. That drives us. So that is here subject. Okay. Then it's verb. Very good. What's your name, dear? Us is object. And this is completely your adverbial. Okay. Now the second sentence. Max is working at an internet cafe this summer. So Max here is, what is Max here? I'll just segregate the sentences. You just tell me the pattern, okay? Recognize the words and I'll just segregate the sentences.
Max is subject.
Yes.
Is working is verb.
Okay.
At an internet cafe is the object, and this summer is the adverbial. SVOA pattern.
See, when we talk about these prepositions, right? On, at, to here again. So these are answering to these particular questions. When, how, where, why. Okay. So therefore, we are talking about these sentences in the manner that this particular element is, this particular phrase is a complete single element. Okay. Even if this sentence goes on like that, I'll give you one example from my own notebook. I'll just read out the example to you so that you understand how it's a single element. It's just an adverbial and nothing else. Meanwhile, please move on to the next sentences. So have you moved on to the next sentences? Has anybody got an answer? What's the pattern of third sentence? What is the pattern in the third sentence? It's again SVOA. We are not going abroad. Abroad is your object here this year because of the pandemic. Okay. So this is subject, verb, object and adverbial. Okay, then the fourth sentence, what are you doing under the table? So what here is, what is it a noun or a pronoun? What is what here? I mean, generally what is what? When we talk about at, on, these are prepositions. Is, am, are auxiliaries. Is it a pronoun or a noun? What? You will see a really less number of interrogative sentences when we talk about basic sentence patterns. But here's one exceptional example. And what is the relative pronoun? Okay, so what are you doing under the table? What is the subject? Are. What is are? It's again, what are you doing under the table? So you here is are you able to recognize the elements here? If you are not going to speak, you are not going to be interactive, then it will be really difficult for us to carry on like that. Please answer. She never talks to anyone. So here again, she never talks to anyone. Never is the negation. It's a negative aspect of your verb talks. Okay, never talks, talks. So positive is talks, never talks is negative. To anyone. Okay, she never talks to anyone. So to anyone is object here. Okay, SVO. What is the pattern here? SVO. Mary looks very sad. Mary looks very sad. Now what is it?
SVC. Mary is the subject, looks is the verb,
Yes,
and very sad is the complement.
very good.
SVC.
Very good. Because you are able to calculate it in this way. Mary equals to, what is it, Arit?
Subject. Mary is the subject.
Mary is the subject. So Mary
Equal to very
equals
sad.
to very sad.
Very sad.
Yes? Okay. Now, the seventh sentence, you can't go in. So, you can't go in.
SVA.
Very good. Very good.
You is the subject, can't go is the verb, and
Really happy with your performance, Arit. Keep it up, dear. Be attentive, because we are trying to make your classes really interesting. But if you are not being interactive, if you are not answering the questions, then it is really difficult on the teachers end also. Okay. Most of you are here, but you are not answering. Only Arit is answering. It's really difficult for a teacher to carry on in a class like that. If it was, it had been a physical classroom, then the situation would have been something else. But here in online mode, you have to take some responsibility on yourselves. Okay, so the eighth sentence, I don't eat meat. I don't eat meat. So what is it going to be, Arit?
SVO, ma'am. I is the subject, don't eat is the verb, and meat is the object.
Very good, very good. It's SVO. The medicine tastes horrible. The medicine is subject, taste, and horrible. Okay, so what is horrible? Horrible is an adjective, and it is acting as a compliment. It is functioning as a compliment in this sentence. So the pattern is going to be SVC. Okay, now she flung all the windows open. So all the windows are open. What is the pattern here? It's subject, verb, object, and complement. Okay, because we can say all the windows equals to open. This is how we are going to understand what kind of complement is it. So it's an object complement here. Okay, the team has voted me new captain. Okay, so the team is Again, if you are paying attention, everyone, and Arit, you see, as you have answered a few questions and you have missed out on the small details, you be careful in the future. So whenever we are talking about the subjects, even most of the time the subjects have these articles. Okay, for example, the here. Okay, so this is completely going to be one single element and it's a subject here. So you don't have to miss out on the small details while segregating the sentences. Okay, now what is it? The team has voted me a new captain. Is nobody else present in the class? Are none of you listening to to me? Soma, are you there? You asked me about the patterns earlier. Have you noted down everything?
Yes, ma'am.
You have noted down, but you are not answering. Yes, dear. There's nothing to be ashamed of. You can easily answer, okay? Don't feel
Okay, ma'am.
shy here in the class, and I'm talking to each and everyone else. Naveen, Ravi, Amar, Swapnil. So each and every Himanish, please reply to the questions that are asked from you. Okay? Don't feel shy here in the class. Nobody is able to see your face. Just feel free to say whatever you want to. Feel free to ask each and everything that you need to ask about the topic. You can ask. You can interrupt me in the middle also. It doesn't mean that if, whenever the class will end, at the end only you are going to ask the questions. Okay? Feel free to ask about all your queries. The team has voted. So has voted is completely a verb. Me here is, what is me here? Soma, can you answer my question here? What is me here? I told you the
Subject.
team is subject.
Subject. Me.
The team is here subject. Okay, subject cannot come at the end because we are talking about the basic sentence patterns. In other patterns such as passive voice, we can see that the subject takes a place of an object in the passive sentences. But here when we are talking about basic sentence patterns, the subject will be the initial element. Okay, it will begin the sentence. First, the subject will come, then the verb will come, then the object will come, then the complement will come, then the adverbial will come. This will going to be the order when we talk about basic sentence patterns. Okay. So here in these sentences, we are only talking about basic sentence patterns. Do not get confused. So me here is going to be object here. Okay, Soma. Now,
Okay.
new captain is, what is new captain? In a case where we talk about nouns and pronouns are there. These two words are coming in the category of noun. Okay, captain is a noun, but because we are talking about basic sentence patterns, we are understanding the pattern of this particular sentence. We are trying to recognize the pattern of this particular sentence. So what is it going to be? It is subject, the team, has voted is verb, this is object, and new captain is complement. Okay, so we are going to end our class here because I think you need to go through all the things that you have noted till now. So note down these all these sentences. These are 8 sentences that we haven't discussed in our class. Please note down all the 8 sentences, then we'll end the class. And I want each and every one of you to note down the segregations to understand the pattern, note the patterns against the sentences, and then come to the next class. Okay, I'll ask each and every one of you if you have done your homework or not. This is your assignment. These are only 8 sentences. सिर्फ 8 सेंटेंसेस हैं, प्लीज इनको आप नेक्स्ट क्लास में करके लाइए। ये आपका छोटा सा एक असाइनमेंट है, कंप्लीट इट बिफोर कमिंग टू द नेक्स्ट क्लास। ओके
मैम,
यस।
हाँ मैं एक कुछ क्वेश्चन पूछना चाहती हूँ क्योंकि ये मेरा सेकंड क्लास है। लास्ट ट्यूसडे हेलो।
हाँ जी बोलो बेटा।
हाँ तो ये जो सेकंड क्लास हो रहा है इस जो टॉपिक के ऊपर ही क्या सेमेस्टर में एग्जाम्स हो गए? क्योंकि अभी तो ऑनलाइन क्लास है, ठीक से क्लास भी नहीं हो रहा, मुझे कुछ समझ भी नहीं आ रहा है एक्चुअली क्या हो रहा है। द थिंग इज दैट अगर कॉलेज में जाके एकदम होता मतलब क्लासेस हो तो वो अलग बात है, पर ऐसे ऑनलाइन क्लास में थोड़ा प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है।
हाँ तो अभी आई एम आंसरिंग दिस क्वेश्चन फॉर यू एंड फॉर एवरीवन। आई थिंक दिस इज द केस विद ईच एंड एवरी वन ऑफ यू। देयर इज अ प्रॉब्लम, आप ऑनलाइन क्लासेस को सीरियसली नहीं ले पा रहे हैं और आपको डिफिकल्टी हो रही है समझने में कि क्या कैसे पढ़ना है, यही चीजें जो पढ़ा रहा है टीचर, क्योंकि टीचर को आपका फेस नहीं दिखता तो हमें ये नहीं पता चल पाता कि आप लोग समझ भी पा रहे हैं कि नहीं, है ना। जब हम लोग फिजिकल क्लासेस लेते हैं देन वी आर प्रेजेंट इन फ्रंट ऑफ ईच अदर, वी आर कम्युनिकेटिंग विद ईच अदर, वी हैव अ आई कांटेक्ट और हमें वहां क्लास में टीचर्स को आराम से इवेल्युएट कर पाते हैं हम लोग कि कौन सा बच्चा पढ़ पा रहा है, किसको डिफिकल्टी हो रही है, एंड वी आस्क देम, वी आस्क योर क्वेरीज। Okay, but in such a situation where we are learning through online mode, then it's really difficult. I understand your problem, but what you can do is, the only thing is to be attentive. Okay, do not feel that these classes are not important. We are बिकॉज ये जो सब कुछ चीजें हैं ये आपको पढ़ाना इसीलिए जरूरी है कि जब हमारी फिजिकल क्लासेस स्टार्ट हो सकता है कि उसके विद इन 2 और 3 वीक्स ही आपके जो फाइनल सेमेस्टर एग्जाम्स है वो स्टार्ट हो जाए, है ना। तो जो हम बेस हम क्लासेस में, जो इंट्रोडक्टरी क्लासेस में, हम फिजिकल क्लासेस में जो हम पढ़ाते हैं वही आपको इन क्लासेस में पढ़ाया जा रहा है। प्लीज, मैं सिर्फ मेरे सब्जेक्ट की बात नहीं कर रही, हमारे सब्जेक्ट के लिए पर्टिकुलरली ट्यूसडे असाइन किया गया है आप लोगों को, लेकिन बाकी भी जो सब्जेक्ट है आपके मंडे से फ्राइडे तक जितनी भी क्लासेस होती हैं सारी क्लासेस को आप सीरियसली लीजिए। इफ देयर इज अ प्रॉब्लम, आपको लगता है कि ये कुछ चीज है जो इररिलेवेंट लग रही है, आपको ऐसा लग रहा है कि ये जो मैं डिग्री करने जा रहा हूँ या जो डिग्री मैं करना चाह रही हूँ उससे रिलेटेड नहीं लग रहा है मुझे, तो आप डायरेक्टली आप टीचर से बात कर सकते हैं, ठीक है, उसमें कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है। और जहां तक मेरे पर्टिकुलरली सब्जेक्ट की बात करते हैं हम, हाँ इसी पेस पे, इसी ही पर्टिकुलर बेस पे जो हम अभी पढ़ रहे हैं, इसी के बिना पे हम आगे की क्लासेस कंडक्ट करेंगे, ठीक है। तो आप हम जो भी क्लास कर रहे हैं, मैं हाँ कोशिश कर रही हूँ कि हम एक्सरसाइजेस करें ताकि आप लोग इंटरेक्शन कर पाए और मुझे पता चल पाए आपके इंटरेक्शन से कि आपको समझ आ रहा है या नहीं आ रहा है ना। तभी मैं इतनी देर से आप लोगों से पूछ रही थी कि आप लोगों को कोई क्वेरीज हैं तो मुझसे पूछ लीजिए, कोई प्रॉब्लम है तो मुझसे पूछ लीजिए, ये क्वेश्चन आंसर कीजिए। तभी मैं बोल रही थी, आप लोग नहीं बोलोगे तो हमें पता नहीं चलेगा, है ना, क्योंकि फिजिकल क्लासेस में इट्स अनदर डील, यू आर प्रेजेंट इन फ्रंट ऑफ अस, वी कैन आस्क यू डायरेक्टली, वी कैन सी थ्रू योर बॉडी लैंग्वेज कि आपको समझ आया नहीं आया। पर यहाँ आपकी ये प्रॉब्लम है कि आप लोग हमें दिख नहीं पा रहे हो, वी आर जस्ट टॉकिंग टू यू थ्रू इंटरनेट, ठीक है। ऑनलाइन मोड में ये प्रॉब्लम है, वी कैन अंडरस्टैंड, एंड दिस इज नॉट द प्रॉब्लम विद आर पर्टिकुलर यूनिवर्सिटी ओनली। ऐसा नहीं है कि कहीं और बहुत अच्छे से कैरी ऑन हो रहा है और सिर्फ हम लोग ऐसा कर रहे हैं, सब जगह सेम प्रॉब्लम है। और स्पेशली जयपुर की बात करें तो अब फिर से जो केसेस हैं बढ़ने लग गए हैं दोबारा, तो हमें पता नहीं है कि कब तक सिचुएशन ठीक होती है। वी डोंट वांट टू रिस्क योर लाइव्स, इसीलिए हम लोग आप लोगों को कॉलेज नहीं बुला रहे हैं। अदरवाइज टीचर्स जो है वो पूरा जो उनका डेली का जो रूटीन होता है, जो वो कॉलेज जाके काम करते हैं, इनफैक्ट उससे ज्यादा ही काम कर रहे हैं इस पर्टिकुलर टाइम में। ओके, सो आप लोग अपने तरफ से सिर्फ इतनी सी चीज कीजिए कि आप अटेंटिव रहिए, आप जो भी आपको कोई प्रॉब्लम है उस पर्टिकुलर क्लास में ही पूछिए, टीचर से ही पूछ लीजिए, ठीक है। बेस्ट यही रहेगा कि आप अपने दिमाग में क्वेश्चन ना लेके चलें। अगर आपको क्लास शुरू होते ही अगर आपको कोई चीज में प्रॉब्लम होती है तो तब के तभी पूछिए, क्योंकि उससे क्या होता है कि आप पूरी थ्रू आउट योर क्लास आपके दिमाग में वो चीज नहीं रहेगी, है ना, और यू विल बी एबल टू फोकस ऑन द सब्जेक्ट मच मोर। तो इसीलिए अपने जो क्वेरीज हैं पहले पूछ लीजिए, और टीचर आपको आराम से सेटिस्फाई कर पाएंगे, बहुत सेटिस्फैक्ट्री आंसर दे पाएंगे। दैट आई बिलीव। हम लोगों का स्टाफ जो है बहुत 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 अभी मेहनत कर रहे हैं आप लोगों को पढ़ाने के लिए। तो अगर आपको कोई भी प्रॉब्लम होती है तो आस्क देम डायरेक्टली, दे आंसर योर क्वेरीज, ओके। And as far as my class is concerned, if you have any kind of problem अभी subject related, अगर अभी तक जो पढ़ा है उसमें कुछ प्रॉब्लम है तो आप मुझसे पूछ सकते हैं। प्लीज टेक अप द प्रीवियस क्लासेस ऑल्सो, जो पहले हमारी क्लासेस हो गई हैं उनको भी आप पढ़ने की कोशिश कीजिए। एंड बिकॉज दीज क्लासेस आर रिकॉर्डेड, तो इसीलिए आपका इंटरेक्टिव होना जरूरी है, बिकॉज हम लोग अच्छे पेस पे मूव ऑन नहीं कर पाते हैं, अदरवाइज इट्स रियली डिफिकल्ट फॉर द टीचर ऑल्सो टू कैरी ऑन।